¿Qué onda? My name is Jesus Martinez, and I'm a San Diego cinematographer and photographer, and these last couple of months have been crazy. It's been wild. I've been gaffing and DPing, and I'm like starting to realize that the van is a little bit too small for all my equipment. But, you know, when I gaff, it just becomes so hard to fit it all in there. We've been able to make it work, though. I got the opportunity to DP a beauty commercial that I'm not entirely sure I can show it yet. I'll ask, but if I can, here it is. But this commercial was essentially just some beauty products, and we're shooting in a bathroom. So it was actually extremely chill shoot. Our setup just took us a little bit. It was just me and a gaffer, essentially. Luckily, I was able to get my buddy Lucas Cardoso, who's really talented DP, and he came on board as a gaffer with me. So for this, I wanted to just do a clamshell lighting, and I basically just went with a top-down boomed. I want to say it was a 200X, one a 32-ish softbox. This pair pop from Glow, which I really love. It's a photo softbox, but it's so easy to open and close. I just went with that overhead, and I did some underfill with like a foam core just to get like just very close and even beauty look on the face. From there, we ended up playing with some practicals that were actually there on top of the tub. One of the bulbs wasn't working, so I had to literally take it off, and I think I just had to just screw it on a little bit more, and it just turned on. And super lucky, because this thing would have been so hard to move around, just super fragile. And then from outside, we ended up putting two 600Ds. One was through the window, which that was a great idea by Lucas, just to fill the room and make it feel more natural. So we were punching two 600Ds. I want to say they were max power through the windows. And I can't recall if we had a third. Yeah, we did have a third 600D with a spotlight that was kind of slashing in the back, just to add that little feel of natural hard light. Moved some plants around, and I was pretty stoked with what we have. We actually also added a hair light. Pavo tubes, I love these for hair lights. They're just so much easier. The only downside is they just die, so we try to just patch that thing and make sure we have an ongoing power to the tube the whole day. If not, we have another one charging on standby if we couldn't get the power to it. And here you see the OC monitor. I'm going to share this because I don't think it's fair, but OC sent me a monitor that was not working. I reached out to them, and they said they were going to handle it. They were going to send me a new one. And I told them, you know, I'm professional. I do this for a living. I need a monitor that's working. And they said, great, we're going to handle it. I didn't hear back from them. Now, the monitor was working. It was just like I would turn it on, and I had to on-off it, do that whole thing like 6-7 times. It took me like 5 minutes to get the monitor to stay on and read the picture. And these guys wanted to still charge me $150 to ship the monitor. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I think it was $100. It was definitely over $100 to ship this monitor back to their headquarters. And I told them, you guys are gonna, refund me, like, right? I mean, I would assume you've ghosted me. I'm still under warranty. This is a manufacturer problem. And they said, unfortunately, we can't refund you that. And of course, I did what any other person with somewhat of a following would do in a situation with an over $1,200 monitor that is not working as it should, out of the box. So I told them, look, you've checked the monitor, which they had at this point. I had already shipped it and paid for it to be shipped. Check the monitor, and you've realized that it wasn't my fault. It was the motherboard or something was wrong. It was manufacturer problem. And you guys aren't going to refund me. I am definitely going to show this to my audience so they can be more careful when buying from you guys. And they flipped the script immediately. They said, send us your PayPal. We will refund you immediately, but do not say a single thing. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? If I did not have a following, what would have happened? I ended up picking up a 1200D. I don't think I've shared it on YouTube. You've probably seen it on my socials. And I just leaned into this because the rental for a 1200D is about $150, $200. That tends to be an average in my area, at least. So I thought at the moment that was a really good investment for myself. It does come out often when I get hired. 1200D is kind of like a go-to for a lot of people. So it's been a good light to have. We did a commercial with this 1200D, and it was an exterior shoot. So we gapped this commercial with the 1200D, and we had some exterior shots that I kind of wanted to share with you guys. Essentially, I have the talent hiding in the bushes because he's a bug killer. Really funny commercial by 3 Elements. Shout out to the crew. John DeVito, I believe. John was my DP, super dope guy. I've been working with him for a minute now. Now he wanted some diffusion, but we still wanted some hard light. I think I went with the frost, if I don't remember correctly, but it just gives a really nice glow to the skin. So we went with that frost as a diffuser for the sun, and then we punched that 1200D through some silk for a little bit of fill, kind of our key in a sense, or kind of more wrapping it around. Sun's really powerful. You need a couple 1200Ds for it. And then we had a foam core on the opposite side, just so his shadow side didn't fall too much into the shadow as much. So yeah, really stoked on being able to shoot exteriors now with a little bit of punch with the 1200D. Really makes a big difference. Sometimes I get these travel gigs where, I mean, to me it's travel. It's just going to LA. LA for me is about a 2 to 3.5 hours, depending on traffic, depending on starting time. But for this, it was actually for Ticketmaster in Beverly Hills. And Beverly Hills has got to be the worst place I've drive to, because no, man, the traffic is just crazy. For this shoot, they wanted me to shoot on the FX6, and they wanted me to get the Fujinon, I think it's like a 70 to 80, 50 to 80. I don't remember. Let me see if I have a note for that. Yeah, I don't recall, but it's like one of the Fujinon lenses. I shot with this lens many times on the Komodo when I used to work at Raindrop, so I was pretty familiar with the lens, but it had been a minute without using it, honestly. It ended up making my camera rig though so heavy. I went with my easy rig and I still kind of felt it, but it was fun, man. We got to shoot around LA, around many iconic sites, and basically just followed someone's story. And I should mention, I only really got handpicked for this gig because I shoot Super 8. Because I had like 2 rolls of Super 8 out there that they were able to see. I posted on YouTube, I posted on social media. They figured he has an FX6, he shoots Super 8. This guy's perfect for the job. So yeah, shout out to trying different mediums, because you never know what might be the deciding factor that will get you the job. I got an inquiry by a company too. This one was a direct inquiry to my email. I'm not sure how they found me, but this was some corporate work, and I was basically originally going to hop on basically as like a PA utility. It's called a utility, which I had never heard of, but it's essentially you just do more than one role. You can AC, you can gaff, you can PA, right? So it was a really small interview, and the only reason why to me it made sense is they were gonna take on a lot of rentals from me. So figured, you know, if we account for the rentals and we account for the day rate, I can justify showing up for this shoot, and it makes sense for my type of work. But eventually, of course, I made it clear I will not operate a camera, but I can assist them as an AC or so, which this becomes, again, the utility, right? So here, yeah, I just got a shot of my car that was so packed up with equipment. We ended up pulling out more equipment than I accounted for, but of course, that's why you got to keep in mind when you charge for a grippage, you know, you always charge a little bit more, or you charge for your whole package. Because you don't know what will happen. Now, my wife's been going crazy. I got her into photo, and she's been putting these spec shoots after spec shoots that I'm a little bit tired because we've been doing a lot. But she's been taking on the photo side. I just jump in and get some B-roll or try to make like an edit out of it. And then we did this for a flower business that we know from back when I used to do a blackjack in the casino. Like maybe 4 years ago now, 3 years ago. It's been a minute now. But these were some old coworkers that have been doing flower business, and we figured let's make something cool. My wife had this whole concept of just on a white seamless. Figured the studio was perfect for this, and we knocked it out. Still have to finish the edit, but here's some sick screen grabs of this. Now I got my favorite client hitting me up for a fashion shoot, which I'm currently in the edit. But for this shoot, I actually shot some Super 8 because I really wanted to do this, and it came out blank. And I don't know why. My camera seems to be good. I made a video about this. If I haven't posted, or if I do, check my videos, but I'll try to link it up here if it's available. And yeah, this Super 8 didn't work. It just didn't work. And I shot 4 rolls, no issues, but this 5th roll just came out blank. So super bummed on it because I still had to pay $150 for it. Getting a discount for my next roll because it was blank. You know, $25 off. Let's go. Now I actually got more inspired because my wife's been creating more content that I want to make more spec work, and I want to get back into shooting stills as well. So I contacted a friend of mine, Maura, who is a very talented model, and she actually had some concepts already in mind to shoot with a vintage Ford truck, and she already had the car, she already had the outfits, and all I had to do was literally show up and shoot. So it was so easy to make some cool stuff. This is like last 3-4 months, right? 2-3 months or some of work that I've gotten enough B-roll to create something. I always forget, but this was a commercial we shot for some gummy bears, and it is so sick. Like, I love that we got to play with this moody vibe. But again, here's me loading the van, everything looking dope. Literally a game of Tetris every time I have to pack that thing. So we started with just an overhead key with the Felix light that I was kind of worried about it because its bicolor is a little bit towards magenta, but honestly, it's not bad. For the price, it's like a $300 light, super easy matte that weighs nothing, that you can fly anywhere, that you can stick to the wall. I think it's a great option. And Lewis Potts talks about it. So shout out to Lewis Potts. So I went with this overhead on a baby boom arm. Always got to stand that thing as a main key. And I just threw a little underfill just so we can not lose the shadows as much on our talent. John loves the talent to pop up, and it actually looks really nice. So our background, we just literally tinted the entire property. So yeah, we blacked out like 4 or 5 windows, and we literally pulled out all these 6x, 8x, all the duvetine that we had. It worked out, flags everywhere, as you can see, because we needed to be night. So going back to our lighting setup, we had our key again overhead. We had a pop tube as a hair light, which we diffused with the grid that it has. And then from there in the kitchen, we had just a practical light in the far right side of frame. And then we had, I believe it was just a 300D up on the left corner, punching into the ceiling with a CTO, and we just doubled it. This is where getting creative, or the fun part of gaffing gripping, comes by. We wanted a specific size spotlight that was going to fit on a pizza box, a small pizza box. But with the Amaranth spotlight on the 300C, it's pretty big. I mean, I think the distance would have been like this far, and now this light is in frame and we can't get the shot that we need. So luckily John has this iris for actual Licos, if I'm not mistaken, but this does not work on an aperture spotlight. That's pretty much where I'm at. I have a couple other things where I've been purchasing equipment that I need for specific shoots. I recently got time code that I need and some much longer XLR cables, but I'll discuss that on the next video and just share, kind of how this is rolling, because a lot of things have been happening financially with the taxes and all that stuff that I kind of want to touch on, but I'm not entirely sure how to approach that, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. Now, if you guys have any questions, just drop it down below. I am a San Diego-based filmmaker and photographer, so if you guys have a project where you need some form of coverage, don't hesitate to reach out. My email is jesus@outtakemedia or hello@jesusmartinezcreates. I'll reply in both of those. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do you guys like this format? I'm kind of just putting it together, trying to get more real with content and show you guys what it really is. If you go back to my old videos, I used to say I'm Jesus Martinez trying to go full-time. Well, I am now full-time, and now I'm just trying to show you what it's like, because I love my job. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it is a lot of figuring out and just kind of learn as you go. So thank you so much for watching, guys. See you guys on the next one. Good job.